All right, hey, it's Wednesday. We're back to doing a regularly broadcasted show. My spring commitments are over, so it's time to get back on track and get back and focused. So, it's Wednesday again. We've got some interesting stuff to talk about.
Damn right we do.
And no guests, it's just the two of us. So let's get it started. So, as always, you can find us on Twitter, at JoeAnimated, at AeroBlip. You can also use the social stream to the right-hand side of the broadcast. We will find you and respond to you. We like to take questions, comments, feedback as the show progresses, so be sure to get back to us.
Do it.
All right.
Do it now.
So if you want to, go ahead and say hi in the social stream. We'll know you're here. Let's do this. So, Blu-ray sales. Always fun to look at the pseudo numbers that come out, kind of gauge how well things are doing. Because we know that they're relative. They're not exact, but they're pretty decent relative-wise, right?
Mm-hmm.
Looking at these numbers, the Ultimate GUP Volume 5 is selling well.
That's kind of an understatement, actually. I'm pretty sure this is the highest-selling volume. Of all the volumes, this is the highest-selling volume, or at least the fastest rate off the first week. Because usually they push barely over 20K. This one, they're over at least 33 in the first. Wow. That's impressive.
It's not bad.
Yeah. I think, though...
Makes you wonder what the total sales were for the first four, and if it's something that gained speed as it went, so that by the fifth volume, people are, they're buying 1 through 4, and now 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the first 4 volumes, they were always consistent. They were slow, but consistent, because whenever they're on the Blu-ray sales, they would be like, oh, yeah, like, this one would get, like, 10,000 copies in a week, but at the same time, it was also, like, the third week it was out. But this one right here, wow. Never seen it do that strong, like, right out the gate. Which, I think, if I remember correctly, this might be the episode with the final battle. So episodes 11 and 12. So, yeah. Considering how those were, like, the ones that everyone liked, I'm not surprised by these numbers.
They look good. Yamato, $21.99, Volume 5. Huge amount of numbers. Mm-hmm. And that's interesting considering that you watch it on... Okay, so they did the movies.
Yeah.
Then they split the movie up into 3 to 4 episodes, package it up for a Blu-ray volume, and then they're also now following that up with a TV broadcast.
Sounds about right.
So, good numbers for something like that, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, though, like, it never really got that much exposure on the first few times, right? So, like, I mean, everyone knows the story because, it's Yamato. Like, it's like
classic. It's a 30-year-old classic.
Exactly. It's like Jurassic Park in the United States. So, like, I mean, it's something that has a name brand, but like for some reason it just never really took off. But now that you're offering Blu-rays and anime, and then not to mention they're also expanding the market as well. Like, I'm pretty sure they're able to ship overseas with this copy.
The Yamato got picked up. I can't remember who picked it up.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It's coming out as Star Blazers $21.99.
Yeah, that sounds like a Sentai Filmworks type of...
I can't remember who's doing it, though, and I apologize. I should know this. It's one of my favorite shows. I was excited when I heard that. But I can't remember the studio that's releasing it at least in North America for... Yes, it's going to be Star Blazers $21.99, but I can't remember the studio.
Yeah. Anyways. But the point is, yeah, it's a great show.
Interesting enough, I guess sort of interesting, Love Live is selling quite a bit.
I'm disappointed in you people. I don't understand. Like, I understand the appeal of Love Live. I can see why it's selling so high, but I'm just so disappointed in all of you.
Yeah, I've never seen an episode. Did not appeal to me at all.
No, it's like a poor man's Idolmaster. It really is.
And then you got JoJo's doing solid. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, you got to get your little hentai in there with To Love Ru. So there you have it. These numbers aren't exact, but you get a good proportion of what's selling hot and what's not.
Yeah, actually, now that we're on that topic, there is something I did want to mention too. So, additional numbers that, sorry, I did not post because I didn't feel like it. Total Blu-ray sales for Evangelion 3.33.
Okay.
If you're curious, it exceeds 300,000.
Wow.
Actually, I'll take that back. It's 370,000.
That's quite a bit.
Yes, it is.
But that's a franchise that's been around a long time.
That is true.
Market. I mean, if it had anything less than that, you'd be wondering almost.
That is true. Well, I mean, think about it, though. It came out a month and a half ago, and that's 300,000, like almost 400,000.
Averaging almost 100,000 a week.
Exactly.
It's quite a bit.
And according to our rankings, it's actually in the number 8 spot. I didn't include it, but it's still selling as well.
Hmm.
And then add on top of that, imagine how many DVDs are being sold. It's like people who can't afford Blu-ray.
That's a lot of discs.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
So, there you have it, guys. So after this, let's move on to our first topic there, Arrow.
Sure, let's go for it.
So let's talk about the appeal of, for lack of a better word right now, terrible shows or poorly directed shows, however you want to fit that descriptor. For an example here, I'm listing out Valvrave, which I believe is this season's most creatively directed show. We'll put it that way. We'll be nice for right now.
I'll agree with that statement.
Okay.
If we're going literal, I will agree with that statement.
Okay. Maybe not so terrible, but the plot is, how should I say? It just seems to be going whatever direction the wind blows it. It's very inconsistent. Some of the characters are poorly, I guess what they're, how do I describe it? It's like they're all crying over somebody who died, but they're just doing stupid things. You know what I mean? The moment it just seems like it's just all over the board in terms of characters, plot, etc. But this kind of shows really appeal to people. I mean, you've got Guilty Crown, which was a far worse show, but people watched it and enjoyed it not because it was a good show, but because it was a complete train wreck on a weekly basis. So why is it that you've got shows that are just bad that people just don't want to watch? You have shows like this that aren't great. They've got a host of issues, but people love watching it. Then you have shows like Guilty Crown, which achieve almost like a cult status for stupidity. And people watch it simply because it is stupid, like the Terrorbat kind of mentality.
See, here's the problem. I think you're going in this with the, you are part of the vocal minority. All right, you are the elite, the creme de la creme. You think that you know everything and you're the shit. And I'll agree with you. No, I'll agree with you on that. We are elitists. You and I are elitists.
Okay.
Most anime fans have not seen 100 anime. We cover that in a year, right? We're the elite. We're the critics. That's who we are. Now, with these kind of shows, all the shows that you mentioned that you deem terrible. So this season, you have Valvrave. Then you mentioned Guilty Crown. I'm surprised you didn't even talk about Sword Art Online of last year.
You could add Data Live for right now.
Well, Data Live is not, I would say, was not have the popularity as far as Valvrave goes.
But it's a terrible show. Well, true.
But the point, you're talking about these big blockbusters, essentially these sellers, right?
Okay.
Now, the biggest thing the problem is that they're not really directed for you, though. They're directed for the lowest common denominator. Well, not in a bad sense. Not in a bad sense. That's actually not in an insulting sentence. I mean in the fact that you're appealing to the masses.
Okay.
And with the way those 3 shows are directed, that's what they do. There's a fast-paced plot, constant action, essentially a dynamic storytelling. Like the way those shows progress, it's to constantly keep the viewers entertained. And it's not necessarily meant to be stimulating their minds or making them smarter, or even appealing to us who wanted something a little more elaborate or a little more complex, something with depth. So that's kind of the biggest problem, is that like you can make an appealing show, but it doesn't necessarily have to be good. And I don't think those two are actually joined hand in hand. Because there's a lot of good shows out there that are just not appealing. And yet there's also a lot of appealing shows out there that are actually good. Like, you're trying to find a correlation between these things, and I think there is no correlation.
I'll give you that. It just, it's interesting what the mass, like this, to me, this kind of show is what Mal lives for. You know what I mean?
And that's fine.
That's a Mal blockbuster kind of thing.
Well, what's the thing we always say about Mal, though? We always
shit taste.
Exactly. We always disagree with Mal. Like, I'm trying to think of a really bad example. I'm pretty sure Guilty Crown itself is like probably 7.8. I guess.
It's like an 8+.
Well, that's fine then. I'm okay with that. If a massive amount of people like a show that I don't like, I'm not going to fret over it.
Now, was it you that said one time, I'll take 10 shit shows that do profitably if the studio will make one show that I enjoy? Was that you?
That's
Something like that?
that is how I live by. If as long as there's two things I think there's two things or two philosophies I have with anime. One is that I watch it because I want to be entertained. If the show's not entertaining, I don't watch it anymore.
Oh yeah, I cut this season down quite a bit because there was just so much that wasn't entertaining.
Well, I definitely disagree with that. And two is what you just said right off the bat. Is like you essentially quoted what I say. I'm okay if a studio has to make a bunch of bad shows if it encourages them and keeps them in business to develop shows that I like. So like look take a common example like A1 Pictures, right? They gave me The Idolmaster, right? That's a great show. They also gave me Fractal.
Oh,
They
you
gave
could
me
list forever on A1.
yes, they gave me Sword Art Online, but they also gave me Working, which I like as well, and I like the second season of Working. So it's they're at the end of the day they're a business, and so you have to draw in as much people as you can with your shows. Not every show's going to be a hit, but at the same time, like as long as as long as you're raking in the money, as long as you're staying in the black, I'm willing, I'm perfectly okay with it.
I wonder
Like,
what the TV ratings are for this.
uh, see, I've always been curious by that with anime in general because I feel like they don't actually bring in that many or that much as far as TV ratings.
Well,
Because if
that's
you
I
look
mean
at
they
the,
air at like 11 between like 11 and 2 in the morning, crap like that.
I mean, essentially, like the equivalent is, I would say, Adult Swim.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and then not even that too. Like, if you look at other stations like FX, what Archer's not like Archer doesn't air until like 11 o'clock at night, or like even Comedy Central at South Park. Well, actually, South Park that's a bad
South
example.
Park's on like at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, but it's still late. Like, I mean, as far as things that aren't live action, they generally don't get the primetime slot. So
Yeah. Except for Simpsons.
most shows that aren't animated.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah, we got a little sidetracked. The point is that I think you're bitching. I honestly think you're bitching too much about this. You don't like Valbrave. Who cares if people talk about Valbrave? You don't like Sword Art Online. Don't like Guilty Crown.
I'm not saying I
Sure,
don't
people.
enjoy
Sure,
Valvrave
sure,
because you never
sure.
know. Valvrave's it's like a roulette game. You never know what number is going to come up that week.
But that's what I like about Valbrave. That's what's so fun is that Elf is like fucking god at this point. He's like the guy.
Honestly, he's the only guy in that show that I actually enjoy watching. Like I like the fact that he's like 6 hours. It's like, what the fuck do you mean about 6 hours? He's like, in 6 hours, this country will fall. It's like, it's just funny how he pulls that shit out to me.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, it's comical.
All right.
I mean, I guess that the reason his characterization and the reason why they do these things with him probably does not appeal to your. How do I put this? It doesn't develop the plot in a satisfying way for you. Because essentially, if you think about it like this, like you have to do essentially whatever it takes to make the biggest boom while making Elf look like the smartest badass in the world, right? But I mean, the only way to develop that is that if in order to make him so godly, is that it essentially all comes down to a Deus Ex
Yeah.
Machina. So
All right. Today, there was
yes,
a big announcement from
what's that?
Kiwani. They introduced us to two of their female characters. One is the younger sister of one of the swimmers. The other is their homeroom teacher. I found it interesting enough that the boy love fandom took to arms and said, how can there be females in our swimming anime?
I don't see why they're bitching so much. I really don't care.
See, I don't understand. Okay, you got what you wanted. You got your goddamn boy love swimming anime. There has to be, I mean, it's not like it's an all boys world. There's going to be females, people.
I know that's not necessarily true because, I mean, if you watch Yuri Yuri, I mean, the principle, I mean, because if you watch shows like Yuri Yuri, that's the funny thing is that like they talk how like the entire world is essentially filled with women. Like they never mention a father. They always mention the mother. They never mention any male figure whatsoever. Did we just go offline?
We did. Fuck. Yes, we're good here. It's back.
Okay, we're good. We're good. The point is that like I don't know. I feel like you're pitching in the wrong places at this point.
I'm
Like,
just saying,
okay,
I'm not bitching about it. I just
no, no,
find it
not you.
interesting that
For once, you're not at fault. What I'm saying here is that like the Fujoshis, I feel like that's a derogatory term, which I don't care because I say nigger. But Fujoshi, Fujoshi is like they feel like that they're entitled to a show like Free, and they feel entitled that the show must be all about males, and I don't care what they think. Concerning that, I really don't care because they're not making the show, they're not funding the show. Uh, they're not really doing anything to contribute to the show. They're just going to watch it, and then they're going to pay if they like it or not. So if there's women in there, so be it. If there's hermaphrodite, good for y'all. You know, I really don't give a
you think
fuck.
there's a Hermathy in this?
No, what the
Oh,
fuck? No.
that no. That, let's put something out there. If this show had a hermaphrodite, I might actually watch it simply for that. Because that's the ultimate trap. And that would be funny to me.
You've never heard of the term shoda before?
Now, but usually that's just pure trap, right? Guy looking like girl, girl looking like guy, etc. Isn't it?
Shodas?
Yeah.
No.
They're actually true hermaphrodites?
I don't know. There's probably some hentai out there that do that.
Yeah, well, we're not going there. We're not talking about what hentai is. It's enough to make your mind melt. All right, so, yeah, Fujoshi bait, be quiet.
Well,
All right.
if I will be devil's advocate, I will say this: I'm actually pretty happy that there are females in this, because then that means that hopefully the focus will be more on the storytelling and discussing swimming itself instead of just a bunch of half naked dudes like
Fondling each other in the locker room? Yeah.
Oh no, I was gonna say getting wet together, but okay.
All right, man. All right, so today I kind of had a thought.
You're gonna leave your wife?
No, no. So, read today's latest chapter of Bleach, and I went, you know what? This fucking blows. Let's just be honest. I don't know if any of you guys follow Bleach in the manga, but this will be, quote-unquote, the last arc Kubo does.
Mm-hmm.
And it's absolutely fucking terrible. Like, the reveal they had today was absolutely terrible. So I had this thought. At some point, like, do you just have to stop the story? Like, you get to a point where you can't power up anymore, you can't find any new enemies. Are you just pulling shit out of your ass just to sell manga? So right now I have up here, I have Hunter x Hunter, some of the longest running shonen shows. There's plenty of longer running ones in different genres, different appeals. But like, for example, in Hunter x Hunter, One Piece, the author's, run himself into the ground. His health is in the dumps. Naruto's just reached levels of stupidity. And Bleach, like, how much crap can you throw in there anymore and still have people have people even want to read your stuff? So do you think that there should be, at some point, the author's just got to find a way to close it up, wrap it up?
Meh. Here's the problem. Here's the biggest problem. First of all, you're reading Bleach. You shouldn't do that in the first place. You shouldn't be watching Bleach. You shouldn't do anything with Bleach. You shouldn't be doing anything with the big three. That's your fault right there.
Oh, I've been reading Bleach
Shame
for a long
on you.
time, so it's just one of these
Shame
habits now.
on you.
All right, all
No.
right.
All right, but tackling the main issue itself is, should a series die? I would say not necessarily. And here's the thing.
That's wishy-washy.
No. Here's the thing. Whenever there's a work, whether you're looking at the manga or the anime, so I'm going to use Detective Conan as an example, because it's a series I like. It's a series that I think that has actually evolved over the years, and it's been running for like a long fucking time, a long fucking time, longer than these guys.
Yes.
So here's the thing. The author of the manga author, so the mangaka, he is still making money writing the manga, and the manga itself has not dropped down in popularity. Why? Is because people like what he's doing. So as long as the person's making money, then unless there's personal incentives, he does not need to stop making the show. He does not need to stop the story. Does not need to die. Does not need to spin off. Does not need to do anything. It should just keep doing what it's doing. And I'm okay with that. So, look around you. Like, if it sells, just keep going. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's why I'm okay with, all the Call of Duties and video games. That's why I'm okay with all these comic book adaptations and movies. If it's bringing in revenue for that company, I have no complaints with it. It doesn't agree with me, and if I don't want to pay for that stuff, or if I don't get any enjoyment out of it, I drop it. So, you know what? If Naruto goes on for another 50 fucking years, I don't give a fuck. Now, if I were a writer, let me say this though. I have a personal philosophy where the story comes first. Like, the work becomes before the money. Because at that point, you're a sellout. And you just hate yourself at that point. So if I were a writer, I would actually try to have a full story and then keep it going until it needs to actually end. Like, I'll plan the story before I actually start getting it published. That's what I would do personally. But as far as, like, these guys who are in the Shonen Jump business, which is really competitive and I wouldn't say lucrative, but at the same time, it's, you know, if you're writing something for Shonen Jump, you're definitely up there as far as, like, popularity and, like, status.
Oh yeah,
So
you're writing for probably the number one selling, weekly issue.
Exactly. So you keep going. You keep doing what you're doing. You keep making that bread. Go for it. It's just not what I'm going to do. I personally, when I do that...
There's a pride issue that has to come into play at some point.
Yeah.
So I don't know who's reading Bleach. Do you want me to spoil? You're not reading it, right?
I don't give a fuck.
So today they basically, or in the last few chapters, they basically said that Ichigo, the main character, he has a little piece of all the major factions in his blood.
And was that somehow Aizen's doing? Huh? Was that somehow Aizen's doing, I'm assuming?
No, it's because his mom was a Kinsey, his dad's a Shinigami, he's human, and a whole bunch of other crap, right? And they threw it all into a pot, and he's this ultimate figure. Aizen had a little piece of that too, but he's this ultimate figure that encompasses all major factions. Like, they made him this super soldier today. It's like, really?
Okay.
It was just retarded. Like, it was just so, it's like, yeah. Okay. I'm done talking.
Yeah.
I'm frustrated about it, but, like, you're right. It's like, whatever. Moving on.
Just stop reading it.
Hey, we got never mind. So, our infamous Big Lobe that tries to make a big deal of polls when they sometimes get almost no participants, decided to take a poll and say you're fine. I can't talk. The poll goers' favorite spring characters.
Yep.
So we pulled out the top 6.
Mm-hmm.
Number 6.
How about you just read 6 through 4?
All right, here we go. 6 through 4. We have Yui, Chiho, and Maou-sama. I can't talk today. I've had too much to drink before now. Maou-sama from McRonald's.
Yeah.
Not too bad. I think it's a pretty decent 6 through 4.
You want to know something that's funny?
Huh.
The voice actress who does Yuigahama Yui is also the voice actress for Chiho.
Does not surprise me.
Yep.
I haven't put 2 and 2 together, but I can see that now that I'm thinking about it.
Mm-hmm. Ain't it great? By the way, aren't you watching Yahari? You finally picked up Yahari, didn't you?
I did.
Are you all caught up?
I am all caught up. The last episode, just short of being something good.
Yeah, but it still had you, though. It still had you.
It was entertaining, but it could have been, gosh, it's right on the edge of being better.
Just wait.
I know, I'm just saying. Like, it has the potential to be something better, and it's just short of it.
Just wait.
All right. I'm just saying.
I know. I'm in that same boat. I feel you. Actually, fuck that. I'm not in the boat because, like, I'm on my own different boat, and I'm still, like, the end.
You've read the light novel.
No, I have not read the light novel. I'm not trying to spoil myself, but I have a feeling it's all deliberate. There's a subtle sense of development with every single episode with the main character, which we might talk about later. But the point is that there's this subtlety. There's like this overlying plot, as I discussed in Fabcast. I went more in depth in this. But the point is that there's this overlying plot, and you're seeing the growth of the characters. And now that through 8 episodes, you understand his mentality, you understand his actions, you understand the characters around him, you understand the setting. Everything is built up, and then now we're going to get to the meat and potatoes. And that's what I'm waiting for. Is it
tomorrow or Thursday? I can't remember. Or today or Thursday is when it comes out.
It comes out every Thursday. Subs will be out probably by Friday or Saturday.
Yeah.
But the point is that, like, it's been building up, and I'm waiting to see the fruits. Like, I know something's coming. I'm fucking excited for it.
I hope so, because it's been right on that edge. Yeah. Okay, we'll leave it alone, though. Moving on. Number 3. Speaking of that show,
Yeah, right?
Hachiman.
Like Hachiman's so good.
I
So
actually
good.
enjoy him as a character.
Yes, because he's essentially a 30-year-old man inside like a teenager's body. I told you.
Well, he's somebody who's been emotionally browbeaten for most of his childhood.
Exactly. Like there's cynicism with a purpose.
So and I enjoy that we get to hear inside of his head. I think that adds to the whole thing. But I like him as a character. I can agree with that as number 3.
Mhm.
Number 2.
Please try to pronounce this.
No, fuck no. I get it wrong every time. Tsukiko. Suki, I think, is what they call her mostly in the anime. Kind of surprised. Like, I think this is a little bit of lowly bait there.
No, I really do like the way they present her character, and the fact that it's it's her entire nature, the entire character itself is just one giant comedic device, where you have it's not the lolly, it's the fact that you have someone who's actually very emotional, but then everything they do they can't express emotions with, and I think so it's hilarious. Like whether you like you throw her across the room, you try to tickle her or whatever, she just can't emote. So you just like whatever you hear her say, like you expect a certain emotion behind it, but when it's just stone cold, I think that's what adds to the charm to it. Well, and that's kind of why I like that character too.
Gotcha. And our number 1, which I'm not overly surprised about, Mikasa.
Dude, she just wants the D. She wants the D so fucking hard. Like I've never seen a character that dedicated for some dick.
That's
Like,
funny.
do you know any characters who would like kill 50-meter like demon shit like just for that one piece of cock?
Other than To Love Ru?
I haven't read To Love Ru, but I'm just saying like this woman is fucking dedicated. Like
I'll give you
spoilers, did you watch that latest episode?
Yes.
Like she was about to betray her like, her commander,
Everybody.
about to fuck up all those people. It's like you touch this man's cock, I will destroy all of you. Like this woman wants the D hard.
That's funny. All right, so there you've got it. Number 3, 2, and 1. All right, you ready to play a game?
Sure.
Let's do it.
I try to think of something funny.
Progress report. We picked five anime, right?
Yep.
Five anime. We give letter grades on different facets of their whatever, of the anime itself, whether it's plot, characters, whatever. So let's go with the first one.
Do it.
So Maou-sama is a comedy. Because it's kind of like it's not so much a drama as it is a slice of life sort of comedy. Slowly progressive, but it's kind of it's a slice of life comedy for life.
I hate the term slice of life.
But you know what? Okay, how about this?
It's a sitcom.
It's a sitcom comedy.
Sitcom.
Okay, sitcom. We'll use sitcom.
Exactly.
I gave it a B, and you gave it a very close to the same grade at an A-.
How about you go first? Explain why did you give it such a low grade?
I wouldn't say it's a low grade. I'd say it's a moderate grade. Like, I'm not rolling in laughter, but it's not dull by any stretch.
Yeah.
So I think it's moderately funny. Like, I get humor out of it.
Yeah.
But I'm not to tears, like, laughing as a comedy.
Well, I think that's this really comes down to personal taste because, well, preference in comedies because this one relies heavily on dry humor, and I'm actually pretty used to dry humor. That's why I dig it so much. Like that's why I watch a lot of BBC America programming, is because I really like British dry humor, and this show does a great job at doing that. Like everything, like the way everything it sets up, it's almost as if you get rid of that ridiculous premise, it's almost as if like they were just like, hey, I just want to do like a regular sitcom, but we need to make it. But since it's anime, we need to somehow appeal to the masses. How do we do that? How do we make it moe? And essentially, that's what they're doing.
High school girl with big tits.
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah. Also, by the way, this show has hilarious reaction faces.
Oh yeah.
So that's also a big appeal. That's what bumped it from a B+ to an A-. Is
All
that
right.
those reactions?
I'll give you that.
They're gold. They're gold.
I can't argue with your grade. All right. Majestic Prince and the characters themselves. Like how enjoyable, however you want to put it, the characters within that plot.
Yeah.
I gave it a B again. You gave it a B as well.
Yes.
I find the characters interesting. I think they could do a better job of developing the characters, but they're not, by any stretch, they're not shallow, terrible characters.
I would say no. You're wrong. A lot of these characters fit a certain archetype, and they were essentially, listed day one. It's like the guy with the glasses. He's the otaku gun nut who's trying to get with women. It's fairly standard.
And he has an
And yep,
all-male bodybuilding crew.
yeah, I mean, it's essentially like you can tell that every single character was given like, these like distinct trait number one, distinct trait number two. That's how every single character is.
Uh-huh.
But what works so nicely with these characters is that they have that chemistry. That's why I always praise Majestic Prince, is that one, they build up the drama nicely, two, they build up the story nicely, and three, they build up the character nicely. And the reason why all three of those aspects were built up nicely, no surprise, is the fact that it was all based on this chemistry. And the fact that you take this essentially losers of a team, and you add charm to it. You give them a personality, so to speak. And by themselves, these characters really aren't that great. But once you start seeing them play off each other, that's what really sells them. And that's why I give it a B. So, you're not going to get a Hachiman in this. You don't expect anything that overly complex. But it's the interactions themselves that make them more than just cookie cutter types.
I would agree with that. And they've done a good job of fitting them within that, well, what's the right term for it? Like, there's a Japanese term for what Power Rangers is, right? That five-character model.
Yes.
Everything fits into that model perfectly.
Exactly.
And for me, a Majestic Prince is probably my favorite show this season so far.
It's definitely up there. When it gets released, I'm definitely pumped for it. That's like one of the first shows I watch every week. So yeah, I would agree with you on that.
I would, yeah. Okay. Moving on. Gargantia and its plot.
Ooh.
I know.
How about you start us off?
I gave it a C. I think there was some ground there between that first episode and the most recent one where it just died. They spent all this time as woe is me, I don't know what I'm going to do for like 4 or 5 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, really? It just seemed to just kind of drag when they could have gotten that accomplished in 1 episode and moved on. 2 episodes maybe and moved on.
Yeah. See, for me, I gave it a C+ because I feel like the show, like, it knew exactly what it wanted to say, but it didn't know how to direct itself towards those main plot points. Where it's like, okay, you have this character, and it's essentially a fish out of water tale, where he was, used to life out in space and being in combat all the time, and then now he's back on Earth. Spoilers, he's back on Earth, and like on essentially water world, so to speak.
Yep.
And then there's these big plot points that are revealed along the way where it's like, yes, like, spoilers, the Hideyazu are originally humans from Earth, and unspoiler. But the point is that, like, I couldn't understand how, like, what the show was trying to do along the way. Whereas, like, there were some parts where it was trying to show him that fitting in, so it was fit more of the fish out of water tale. And then there was times where, like, it would start going into boat politics.
Well, then they tried to create some sort of emotional love interest between the two of them, but they were both fucking clueless.
Yeah,
it struggled to find direction there for a solid 4 episodes.
Yeah, like
I didn't know what it wanted to be.
Yeah, it's essentially got like, I guess the show that I can think of that exemplifies this is probably like Code Geass, the second season of Code Geass, where you knew there was a big reveal at the end. It was just a matter of meandering along the way in order to get to that big reveal. And I feel like that's what's with this show, is that, like, there's probably 2 more plot twists along the way.
We've only got
maybe
3 more
one
episodes, I think, right?
So probably at least one more plot twist along the way.
Yeah. But in general, I think they could have done a better job in that middle part. It just didn't work for me at all.
Yeah.
So the pacing of Attack on Titan.
I give it a B+.
I gave it a D.
Well, you suck, that's why.
I thought it had the same kind of problem there. It seemed to be at times more reiterative of previously discussed topics than moving forward.
Really? Because I took the exact opposite from it. I thought sometimes I wonder how fat. Like I sometimes wonder if the show is going too fast for its own good.
Really?
Because yes, I mean think about it. Like in three episodes, you essentially go from little kid to essentially full-time soldier. Three
Okay.
episodes. Then every single episode after that has just edited in a cliffhanger where it's like, boom, Titan comes in. Boom, people die. Boom, main character dies. Boom, main character comes back. Boom, main character's a Titan. Like, it's just like, I'm just curious, is every single episode going to end in this giant fucking plot point or just giant fucking reveal?
Yes.
And, okay, that's cool. But what I'm saying is that, like, this show spends absolutely no time, like, dilly-dallying. It's just like, boom, 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 boom. And it makes me wonder, it's like, well, how much content is there for the show to be doing this? Because it is not taking its time at all. It's not, like, I don't want it to flesh out, like, certain
See,
things. Like,
it hasn't even scratched the surface yet.
and I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. Like, I like where it's going.
All right. I just think I don't know. I think they could have skipped some. Okay. All right.
Yeah. I mean,
And
like,
then
the only thing preventing it from getting an A is that it just feels overwhelming at times. I like it, but it feels overwhelming at times.
all right, I'll give you that. Last thing up, the story behind Valvrave. I gave it a C. You gave it an A.
That was supposed to be an A minus, but
But well, still you're in the A thing. And this is where our disagreement came kind of earlier. You like the fact that it's just this wild, wild story.
I like the fact that you consider it a mess. Like, I'll agree, it's not the most eloquently, told tale, but at the same time, I really don't care if it is. Like, this show, if you can't enjoy the plot twist, there's really no point in watching this. Like, the first episode essentially sets the tone of of how the show's going to progress. Sunrise made it.
A vampire mecha driver, yes.
Well, yeah. No, I mean, the fact in the first episode, Sunrise was like, okay, it's gonna be really happy. Boom, 10 minutes in, girlfriend dies. Boom, 20 minutes in, main character dies. 21 minutes in, main character comes back alive and bites the other dude in the fucking neck. Like, it made its intentions known that it's gonna be a crazy ass tale, and I actually like it when shows can do that because if you really, really think about it, those kinds of shows require a lot of thought and planning to go into this because you have to make sure that everything is consistent. And
But I
for
don't
the
think
most
they're
part,
making it consistent.
it is though. Like
It's following a meandering path. How about that?
no, it's not me. I feel like the show clearly this is the difference between Valvrave and Gargantua. Yes, I'm gonna say that Valvrave, both Gargantua and Valvrave, they have specific plot points they want to discuss.
Okay.
Valvrave actually, I think, does a better job of getting us from point A to point B better than Gargantua. So that's why. So yes, I do like the story in Valvrave.
They're definitely not hesitating in Valvrave to get from point A to point B. That's for sure.
Exactly, and I'm okay with that. Execution, that just shows bravado. That just shows that they have conviction. They know exactly what they want to do, and it's not dilly-dallying. I mean, sure, like there's a bunch of things they can improve on, like there's characterization, like the motives, like there's a lot you can rag on about the show, but at the same time, if you look at the meat and potatoes, this show is essentially a thriller, just like Attack on Titan. It is all about just action and just these big dramatic.
It's like
events.
who was that white kung fu guy that did a bunch of shows in the 90s?
Chuck Norris.
No.
Well, I'm right though.
Yeah, it's like a Chuck Norris kind of show. You know what I mean? Nobody watches a Chuck Norris show for the plot.
I mean, what? There's a bunch of white guys. There's like a Steven Seagal.
Steven Seagal, that's what I'm thinking of. His movies were absolutely horrendous, but there's lots of butt kicking.
Exactly. Like, I mean, come on. Have you ever seen the movie Roadhouse?
Yes, it's been a long time, but yes.
But you get what I'm saying, though, right?
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
like
All right.
it doesn't have to be intelligent. A story does not have to be intelligent in order to be good. Sorry, guys.
You heard
Get your head out of your ass and stop being elitist.
All right, Arrow, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Let's see. I think the season's been awesome so far. I'm really proud. I'm proud. I'm really happy Yeah, these producers, these studios, keep doing your thing. Keep doing your thing.
Wasn't a bad season.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are giving it shit. Again, I have a low tolerance, so I'm watching shows. I'll admit it. I'm watching shows like Date of Live. I actually thought
really Date of Live.
Date of Live has gotten better.
It's terrible.
Yeah, what's so terrible about it?
Ugh.
Go on, enlighten me. How is it terrible?
All right, I've only seen one episode, so I have no room to talk, I guess. But that first episode was terrible.
Well, no shit. I did say it went. Like I said, it got better. It's like, a lot of shows get better after one episode.
But the whole point
a lot of
is
shows
to date girls so they don't blow up the world.
Oh, they completely went past that point already, dude.
Sure.
It was only for the first girl, to be honest.
Now it's just harem comedy.
Sort of.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, what else? I think spring's not been too bad. There's going to be a lot of shows that carry over into the next season, so that'll be enjoyable.
I mean, what, though? Like, Higher Fear's ending.
Attack on Titan?
No, I thought that was taking a season break.
Is it?
I thought so. Just like Valkyrie. I thought it was.
Maybe it is. Maybe it's fall again. Okay. I made a mistake in that. I thought it was going continuous.
Well, what? Majestic Prince, that's going on next season still.
Is it?
Dude, that has to be a 2-core.
I thought it was 1.
Dude, after the latest reveal from episode 9.
Okay, you got to look it up while I'm talking here then. We got to know this.
I mean, just because it's not on Mal doesn't necessarily mean it's,
I don't look at Mal, so don't even talk to me about Mal. Okay, while I'm talking there, look this up. So yeah.
Do you have any questions?
What's that?
So do we have any questions? Yeah, it's 2-core. I confirmed it.
Okay, continuous 2-core then?
Yeah, yes, according to everyone.
Good. That'll give me something to watch this summer along with Nisei number 2.
Nisei number 2?
What are they calling Bake? Is it Bake number 2?
It's Bake second season.
Bake second season, whatever.
Get it, because Nisei Monogatari, Nisei means fake, so it was the fake season, the fake second season. Get it?
You're stretching now. What else? So yeah, I would say it's been a decent enough spring season.
I don't know. I'm happy. I'm fucking ecstatic about the season.
I think I made the mistake of blogging about Gargantia when I should have blogged about Majestic Prince.
Yeah.
Majestic Prince, I think, was a much better show in the end. I think there's more going on there to discuss. I like now that there's a little bit of a love interest angle there in Majestic Prince. It's fun to watch. You know what I mean?
It makes me sad though, because I know that it makes me sad because I know that a certain girl's not going to win.
Can I say it?
You know she's not going to win.
I know.
Unless the OP is lying to us, she's not going to win.
Yeah. Yeah, the childhood friend never wins, right? Neither does the teammate.
Yeah, you're always best friends. Anyways, yeah,
I think it's been a good enough. It'd be nice to get this show back on the road, right?
Yeah.
We're a little behind. We've kind of lost some interest out there. We'll have to refresh.
Yeah. Tell everyone, please, get back on watching.
Yeah, we'll make more announcements. We'll get it broadcast out a little better.
Yes, we will.
All right, man. Let's walk through some ending credits here.
Do it.
Mondays On the Clock is back with Kevo and Akira. Come check it out. Don't forget, Aero does a bi-weekly or twice a month podcast called FAP. Friday
Anime Podcast. Different blog, but essentially it's just us. Little less structured, but a little more free-flowing than what we do here. 4 guests. If you'd like to be on the guest, just send us an email. Everything's on the site. But yeah, the latest episode came out last Friday, which was when I went to Anime Boston. So I met a couple of anime bloggers there, and by couple I mean 5 others.
Yeah,
so the 6 of us in a hotel room, with some alcohol. Great show. You should watch it, by the way. Definitely recommend it.
Listen to it. You can't watch it there.
Well, fuck you. That's what.
So just in general, guys, animeaudiolog.wordpress.com. You can see this podcast and others. Podcast feeds are found at iTunes and also on the website. You can find us on YouTube. And if you want to be a guest, there's the email address. In addition, we're looking to incorporate some new writers into the blog. Not necessarily podcasters, but writers. If you're interested, send us an email at that address.
Do it.
All right, we're done.
Peace out.
Later, guys.